Hey, bro. I'm happy to have you here, bro. I've been planning this for like 2 months, and I wanted to share with more people. Who are you guys? John and Lex. This time it's you. We had John before. And tell me about you, who you are, where you're from, and what you do for a living.
Yeah, so I'm Lex Ajayi, or Alex Ajayi. I'm from Houston, Texas, and so Estados Unidos. And yeah, so I started my first company when I was 20.
Okay.
And it was an app. I built an app basically that connected college students with ideas and talents together to form businesses. That failed after about like 3 years. And then I started a company that basically we manage properties around all of America for what's called REITs, which is like real estate trusts. So these are like people that these are investors that purchase properties all around the nation and then rent those properties out to everyday people.
Yeah.
And so what's stipulated in the rent is that your lawn and your pool care, if you have a pool, is covered by the REIT. So I built a software that basically allows us to hire pool pros and staff them to those properties.
Okay.
So the pool pros have an app that they use to take pictures to verify that they perform service.
Yeah.
And then the REIT receives that, they pay us, we pay the pool pro. And so yeah, that's kind of like a quick little...
That's very interesting. Like, no one understands what he does for a living.
No one does.
And I know you guys will feel a little bit confused, but that's why I have him here, because I want he explain me what he does for a living. After a couple of weeks, no, many weeks and 3 months now. Months working together, work for him, and he's my client. And now we've been building a very nice relationship. We had a very nice time here in Colombia, and I've been learning a lot about Lex. So Lex, tell me about your story, bro. What is your beginning and how you started your journey? What age?
For sure. Yeah, so I started when I was 20. So I was a finance and biology student. So I was trying to become a surgeon.
Yeah.
My family, my mom's a pharmacist, so like the medical background kind of runs in my blood.
Okay.
And so my junior year, my friends had started a company, The Lost Breed, and started to get pretty successful with their entrepreneurial venture. It was like a fitness influencer thing.
Okay.
And so I was like, just to kind of keep up with my friends, I thought to myself, I think I can do more than just the typical educational path.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I know I like 2 things. I like to help people and I like challenging things. So I didn't know anything about tech. Didn't know how to program. I did like maybe a couple of programming courses when I was in high school. And then I was just like, all right, well, what is an idea that I'm really passionate about? I'm really passionate about helping people. So I said, okay, well, there's so many kids that want to start businesses.
Yeah.
And they have an idea and some of them have talents, right? And so I was like, okay, well, when you think about a business, what are the main things that make up a business?
Okay.
It's the idea that you have, and it's the talented people that can execute that idea. So take that idea and make it into an actual reality, right? So I said, okay, well, let me build an app that allows kids or college students with ideas and talents to come together, showcase their ideas and showcase their talents, and try to build a business.
Yeah.
So I worked on that with my partner for 3 years, and we...
How old were you?
I was 20.
You were 20, okay.
Well, 2014.
So you started your entrepreneur journey...
When I was 20.
When you were 20, okay.
When I was 20. So that was my first... So yeah, 20 was when I started. We did that all the way up till 23.
Yeah.
And then I'm 27 now. And so did that for 3 years. And then I moved into building products for people because I realized that I was really good at building software.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, let me create a development firm that would attract good ideas with poor execution. Execution being like, execution meaning like the operations, like how, you may have an idea, but do you know what to do with it?
Yeah.
Right?
How do you choose tech and apps for a living?
So
because you had so many options.
Yeah, I just noticed that where the world was going. So this was back in 2014. I just saw that, you know, apps were becoming a thing, and tech was, or it wasn't a becoming thing. Apps were already a thing at that point in time. Technology was already becoming more and more well known to just everyday people.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, well, this is where the world is headed. I've always had kind of this understanding of like where things go. I don't know how to explain it, and I just knew that the world was heading down this path and that I had to be a part of it. And so I was like, all right, well, I know it has to be tech, and I know I want to help people. So how do I combine?
So you know, since you were 20, what were your goals?
My goal originally was just to make as many entrepreneurs as possible with the product, the company.
So you never thought about working for a company, office, go to this 9 to 5?
Not when I said that I was going to become an entrepreneur. When I made that decision, once I make a decision, I make the decision. So I rarely, if ever, go back on it. And I can't even remember the last time I made a decision that I don't stick to. And so so when I was 20, I said, all right, I'm going to start my own company. And then I was like, all right, I'm not looking back. I'm just going to go. And I knew that I had the perseverance, the determination. So I said, okay, no matter what happens, I would tell my business partners, I said, no matter what happens, we're college kids. We all are studying the same classes. We're all doing the same volunteering hours. All of us are doing the exact same thing. So we're all at zero. Even if we fail this company, the skills that we're going to learn while doing this is going to make us 10 times better. If we're all at zero, us being at 1 is better than 0, right? And that happens through learning skills. So that was my mindset. I walked into my first company thinking that there was a 85% chance that it would fail. That's
a very mature viewpoint, bro. Because no one thinks like that. They say if I fail, everyone will laugh at me. People feel embarrassed when they fail.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's true. A lot of people feel that way, and for me, it was just more so. I've always just looked at it like we're all doing the same thing. Nobody's taking a risk, so it's very hard for me to look at someone else and just kind of be like, all right, their opinion matters if they're not taking a risk. You know what I mean? So it's just like, so that never really concerned me that much. It's just because I was like, everyone's just doing the same thing. I'm doing something different. Like, the only opinion I should be listening to are other people that are doing different things.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of the mindset that I had coming into my first company.
Yeah, how was the progress of your own company, your app? Like, when do you see a real success in your business? So when did you struggle, bro? Because I'm sure you struggled.
So the first one, there was no success.
No success.
There was no success at all. I mean, I didn't know how to build apps at that point in time.
Okay.
So I was learning. It took us, the average application, even the most complex one, should take you around, well, if it's just an app, if it's not necessarily like a dashboard, it should take you maybe 10 months.
10 months.
Maybe even less. Maybe sometimes you can bang it out in 6 months. It took us 2 years. And so it took us 2 years. So I didn't release the product till I was 20. I was in my late 22, like the later years of 22. And then I released the product to a university, and within 1 day of releasing it, I knew that it failed.
After 2 years?
After 2 years. Actually, well, 3 years, really. It's damn near 3 years. 1 day, I knew.
You knew?
I knew. I've been working on it for 3 years. I knew. I said, so my business partner was like, we gave it maybe, I think 1 more week. And I said, all right, let's take the money that we've got for grants. Grants meaning like, basically you win these different competitions and then they help fund your business.
Okay.
So I said, let's take the rest of what we have left. It was like a couple $1,000s. Let me buy a computer. Because at that time, I was developing the application through my friend. I was like, my friend was a computer programmer. So I was designing it. I would literally sit in front of a computer and tell him, all right, do this, do that, for 2 years.
For 2 years?
Yeah. So because I at that point in time, I didn't have the right computer for that, right laptop for that. So I had to just, hey, come over to my dorm and I'll tell you what to do.
Bro, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot. So then I said, all right, let's take the rest of the money. I'll buy a computer for myself so I can finally just do it on my own. And then he, I think, ended up buying like an iPhone or something like that. And now he works for Amazon. He's very successful now. He's one of my closest friends, like a little brother to me. And I took that computer and then I built everything that I built now with that laptop.
Wow. What was your success year, bro? How old were you, and what did you do when you realized, like, bro, I have more money now, and this is for my business?
I'm 27 now. It was like 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It was like 2 years ago. 25, maybe even 26.
How much was that, bro? I know people like those numbers, bro.
I was living at home with my family till about like 26.
Wow.
And at that point in time, I think 25 or 26, I'm not sure. And at that point in time, my business had already done 7 figures at that point in time.
7 figures?
I gave myself a goal.
Guys, please, because my audience is not American, so all of them. How much is 7 figures, Lex?
$1 million.
$1 million, Lex. Guys, $1 million, 26 year.
Yeah, so I gave myself the goal that, because the business had already started to make money, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna move out of my parents' home till we've made $1 million. Just because I wanted to tell everybody who does this entrepreneurial path. I think one of the biggest fears that most entrepreneurs have is like the fear of living at home with their parents while they build their business. So I said to myself, I could have moved out way before. I was like, until I hit $1 million, then I'll move out. Just so that when someone asks me, something like this gives younger entrepreneurs hope to be like, all right, stay at home.
Bro, at this point is amazing, because I hear so many people laughing at other people because they live with parents, bro.
Yeah.
But you don't know what they're doing. They actually have a dream.
Yeah, for sure.
Or they actually are struggling in life, bro. It doesn't mean they are failures.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I was, because I could see the progression of the company growing, and it was growing at a rapid pace, and still growing at a very rapid pace. And I just said to myself, I just kept seeing so many of my friends, because my friends would ask me for advice and stuff about entrepreneurship, and they were just like, man, I'm tired of living at home. Like, I'm tired of being a grown man living at home. I'm like, you got to understand, like, 99% of people don't ever take a chance on themselves. They just go through life never risking it, never taking a chance. And yeah, they may have money from their job or wherever they work, but they're dead inside. It's to not be able to live out your dream every day. That's a horrible feeling. And so you gotta respect. I always tell people, you have to respect the grind and respect the audacity of your dreams. Meaning, like, there's 99% of people never go after their dreams. You're trying to be the 1% that goes after their dream and succeeds. You gotta think about how impossible that already is. So if you understand that, you can be more patient. You can say, all right, well, I know my goal is so crazy that I need to be patient about it. And that means you got to make sacrifices. You can't get the apartment that most kids get after college or university. And I think university for Colombians, right?
Yeah.
But college being the same thing.
My point is, we are Colombians, and we live with our parents until like all ages, because our country is different, different opportunities. I'll say for you guys, I want to explain this for my Latin American audience and the people who see this episode from countries like Colombia. I'm Colombian, guys. In America, live in parents' home after 25 or after
usually
after college, right?
Right after college. So people graduate at 22. So by 24,
that's embarrassed.
By 24, they start to feel embarrassed.
They start to feel embarrassed because they live with parents. It's a different culture. I just want guys you understand his point. So Lex, like, you were working in your company, like trying to develop this app, bro. Why you did to date girls or to hang out with friends and not feel less, because you were basically from the society view, you were failing.
Well, so for me, I've always had, all my friends are entrepreneurs. Most of my friends. All of my close friends are pretty much entrepreneurs. So everyone got it. Everyone understood that you have to put in the time. So I've always been very particular about who I surround myself with. And I've always made sure that my friends that I'm close to have my mindset. Because I've always known that your friends can fail you if they're the wrong ones. If you have the wrong friends, you can fail before you even try. Because a friend might say to your friend, all right, I want to try this entrepreneurial venture, and that person may not be entrepreneurial, and they may say, I don't think this is the best thing for you to do with your time.
Wow.
Right? And then you might because they're your close friend, you might
get confused.
Exactly. And just even allowing that thought to get into your head for even a second is a second too long, right? So I've always made sure that all my friends are of the right mindset, even when they're not entrepreneurial. Some of them they're not, but they have the mindset to understand I need to take chances on myself and push myself, and that's pretty much how I've made sure to.
How do you feel when you're 26 years old, you accomplish the first million, bro? Because for most of the people, it takes time. It's not, I'll say for you guys, it's not about the money.
No, it's not.
It's about success. Like you were working for this so hard, and you get it, bro.
Yeah.
How do you feel, bro?
I mean, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel, I mean, I always, like you said, I mean, I always look at, I mean, most of the people that I work with are twice my age.
Yeah.
So, you know, in tech, like I'm working with people that are 40, 50, 55. And so when and they're working for me. And
they're
so,
working for you.
And so I think about that and I'm just like, man, this is crazy. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense at the same time because, especially in tech, like, one of the things in tech is like most tech companies don't make money. They may make, there's a separation between revenue and profit.
Okay.
Right? And so most companies make a lot of revenue, but they don't make a lot of profit.
What is the difference?
Can revenue is like, all right, you can say you made $1 million, your business made $1 million, but you spent $999,000 to get that million.
Wow.
Or no, you spent $1,001 to get that million.
So you
actually lost money. Exactly.
You lost money.
So most companies, that's how they run. And so the way they stay alive is they get investors to keep giving them money.
Okay.
So usually the goal in tech is to keep growing and getting money from investors until you finally make a profit, because you have to spend so much to make a profit. I studied the game and tried to make sure that I made a profit from the beginning. So we started making profit. You know, obviously I learned from my first company as well as people my peers, and my first my company that I'm working in now. I started making profit from day one because I knew there were certain things that we had to do in order to make profit, and so that's why we've been able to. We don't.
So would you say, bro, that you have to fail first until you make it? Because most us, include me, because I felt this in the past, and I failed my company too, my production company. Bro, you feel like if I fail in this, I will never make it. But actually, you fail. Yeah. And then the second shot, you made it, bro.
Yeah, no, it was tough. It was not easy. When I failed my first company, it took me a while to it took me a while to really recover. I mean, because I was so burnt out. Burnt out meaning like I was exhausted. Yeah. I'd worked 3 years on a company every single day. And these days were not like 8-hour days. These were 16-hour days every single day for like 3 years. And so when I realized that it was over, it was like, what do I do now? And that's a very scary feeling, to be 25, how old am I at this point? 23 at this point, and there's nothing to fall back on. I don't remember anything I studied in college, even though I was a double major. I don't remember any of that. I can't go do that. I don't even enjoy that. So I had to really just say like, all right, well, this is the life you chose, figure it out. And so, I always tell people, I mean, your failures, you have to learn key lessons from it. From my first company, I learned pretty important lessons that made me very successful, which was, and maybe it gets a little too technical here, but in tech, there's what's called, in any business, there's called B2C and B2B. Yeah. B2C meaning business to consumer. So that means like when a business sells a product to an everyday person, that's B2C. B2B is when a business sells a product or a service to another business. Yeah. Right? So I knew my first company was B2C. And the tough thing about that is that most people don't want to spend money. Yeah. So it's very hard to make a business around that. So I said to myself, my next business has to be B2B. Okay. I have to find a business that's willing to purchase what I'm selling because they have the money for it. Yeah. So I learned that from my failure. See what I'm saying? Like I would never have learned that if I had just succeeded.
That's what your app does?
Yeah, so we work with real estate companies. Okay. So that's a business. I'm not working with everyday people. Okay. Like I'm not working with just people that are walking down the street. I'm working with companies, large corporations. Wow. And I'm servicing their homes that they own. So, but that was a lesson that I had learned from my failure, right? And so a lot of other lessons as well, but you know, your failures are the most important thing. It is really more important to just fail quickly, fail fast.
Yeah.
Meaning like, all right, when you know it's over, you can either pivot and find a new direction within that company that you're building, or you say, all right, maybe something new.
You should show your failures, or you should hide them, bro. Because most of us, we fail and we stay in silence, but we success and we talk. Why do you think, bro?
I don't think you can do whatever you want with them. If you want to show them, show them. If you want to hide them, hide them. I think the most important thing is just to keep going.
Keep going. Okay.
That's because at the end of the day, you're not doing this. You're not doing videography. I'm not doing technology for everybody else. For other people, I can care less what they do. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my family. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your family. That's your only concern, right? And so I've never really listened to that as much because I'm doing this for myself. And that's what you should focus on. As long as you focus on that, when you fail, you brush yourself off, wipe yourself off, you take some time, allow the sadness to enter your body, take in that emotion, and then after a while you say, all right, now it's time for me to try again. And that's what I did. I said, all right, I'm gonna allow myself to feel this sadness that I feel from losing and failing, but I'm gonna try again because I'm a winner. I have to play. I have to play the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to keep playing. If you want to win, you have to keep playing.
How you keep thinking that you're a winner when you lose, bro? That's, because that happened to all of us.
You have to have this self-confidence in yourself.
Self-confidence.
You just have to have this confidence that you know that you're talented and you know you're skilled, but it just wasn't your time. It's like basketball, right? Like there's so many teams that are playing and only one wins a championship. There's 31 other teams that are losers for the year. How do they keep playing? They have a self-confidence in themselves to say, even though I lost, I'm still good enough to win. So that's the mindset that I had. It was just that even though I've lost my first one, I'm still good enough to win. And then also I've always realized my age. At that time, I'm 20.
We're very aware about everything,
I'm so
bro.
young. Like, I should fail.
Actually,
I'm young. The people that I'm competing against are twice my age.
But bro, we have to understand something because I've been sharing this with other people. Some guys, they are 20, 23, you are 26, and you think that you're done, that you have more opportunities.
No.
Guys.
Yeah, you're a child. Like
you're a child.
The way I look at it,
fail.
The way I look at it is like, all right, let's say you're in a market, like you're doing videography. You're 28. You have other videographers that are 40 years old. They have 12 more years of skill than you, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're aware of that, then you know that the game you're playing, there's more of a chance that you will lose because they've been playing this game longer than you have, right?
That's being aware.
That's being aware. So when I was 20, that was the reason why I said that there was a 85% chance of failing. It was like, all right, everybody in tech is like 40, 35. Anyone that have succeeded. I think the average age of a tech founder that succeeds is like 32 or 35 or something like that, or maybe even older than that. I'm 20, so they're 15 years older than me. So if that's the case, then there's nothing really for me to be worried about.
I think we normalize his viewpoint and my viewpoint about this. We normalize this because we are in this environment. I'm with you guys every week. Yeah. But some people, they don't realize that, bro. Sure. And they live a bad life because they are rushing all the time to become success. And I'm creating this interview to share your viewpoint with that people, with those guys. Sure. Because I had the opportunity to talk to you, right? You make me feel aware about what's happening, right? Yeah. But some people, they don't have that opportunity. So, guys, Lex actually success in his business. And I think his advice, they are very priceless.
Thank you.
Because, bro, I'll say it again. Don't normalize what we are talking about here. Some people actually around the world, most of the people, they are rushing, they get in debt. For sure. They believe what other people think about them. They even say to themselves, I'm a loser. Yeah, for sure. Because I'm losing. And what Lex is saying, even if you lose, you're a winner. Yeah. That's what 100%. You say.
I mean, you got to think about it. If it's this simple, I don't even want to make it complicated. It's like, all right, let's say there's 10 people. 9 of them are doing the typical 9 to 5. One of them is doing entrepreneurship. That one person fails. The other 9 go on to make money in their 9 to 5, live a happy life, and they have, kids and whatnot. This one person that failed took a chance on themselves that the other 9 were too afraid to do. Who's a winner and who's a loser? And I'm not saying that 9 people that work 9 to 5s are losers, but I'm just saying that was my mindset.
That was your mindset.
It was just like, I'm taking a risk that nobody else is taking. How could I call myself a loser?
Yeah, that's it. Bro, tech and apps, I'm sure people who works in this area will feel interested by that. But we have so many people watching this episode. So I want to ask you something that I would say everyone will ask you is, what was the first expensive things that you buy when you realized, bro, I can't afford this?